Tell us a bit about yourself and the idea behind Tribal Police Files on APTN.
I am a former police officer. I've did 8 years of policing here in British Columbia with several different departments. That was, I left policing back in 2003. After 25 years in law enforcement in various positions, decided to move on and got into television and journalism. In 2005 and 2007, I went back to school at BCIT in Burnaby and became a journalist. And my ideas behind that was to be able to tell Indigenous stories from an Indigenous perspective. That was the whole reason I went back. I felt that there was stories that needed to be told in a manner in which was reflective of the lifestyles in which we lead as Indigenous people. So obviously I went into an area in which, with my first show, which was, producing Warrior Games, which was an Leo award-winning show in 2012 and 2013. It was a youth-based series on Indigenous sports across Canada and the United States, where, I would go in as the kind of the older former athlete type guy and work with youth and elders, and they would show me some of their Indigenous sports in their community. So we traveled across Canada and down to the States, where I would regularly get my butt kicked by these youth and guided by the elders. It was a really fun show, and it lasted one season, but it got me thinking about a new series, which was my brainchild, the Tribal Police Files, which focused on my old job, my old place where I working with and shooting via camera people that I had worked with in the past, and highlighting stories of police officers and what they have to endure on a day-to-day basis, personally and professionally. So it's a really in-depth, thought-provoking show, which is very balanced, and it's a character-driven show, so you learn to really appreciate the characters, the police officers that you're working with, because we show, the professional work they do out in community, but as well we share the private and intimate moments with them when they're not working, with their families and on their own time, and things that they do that make them real people. And that's, the perspective is to really highlight police officers as real people. They're not homewreckers. They're not people that cause unnecessary angst in the community. They're regular people who just want to help, and I think in 13 episodes, that's what we accomplish.
Give us a few of the examples of what folks can expect to see on the show in season 1.
Some examples that you will see is how police officers react to various situations that occur within community. This is a tight-knit community. These communities surround the town of Sxwithul'txw. So you know each other as an officer to community members on a first-name basis. Some of them might be related. So you'll find that there's very respectful and forthright interactions between community and police officers. We'll see some files that are particularly hard to watch, hard to listen to. And part of that, you'll see car accidents, you'll see some humor, obviously, you'll see some cultural, you see some elders. So it's a little mix of everything. It's not like the cops show that you saw, in the States. It's very thought-provoking and heartwarming. So, and deals that, like I said, again, with some of those tough files in the most discreet way that we could for television. So it's really balanced, and that's something I'm particularly proud of for season 1. So I think viewers will really enjoy it.
What's been the general reaction from your inner circle that have seen the show?
The inner circle, the peeps that I've showed, some clips to, and almost finished completed episodes has been very, very positive. The broadcaster seems to really like it, which is always a good sign. And I've showed 1 or 2 episodes to the police service in which we highlight, which is the Statling Tribal Police in Sxwithul'txw, British Columbia, and they're like, wow. So it's nice to have the backing and that positive feedback of a tough series that's, in general, when you're filming police officers in community, any police show is really tough to film. So I think I've captured my vision from when I thought about this 3 years ago.